you're gonna hire me today. He's like, well, we're not hiring. I was like, I know. So the next day I get a call. He's like, hey, my district manager's in town. I want you to meet her. And she's like, oh, we're going to give you a job. I'm like, perfect.
Welcome to The Hard Truth, here with my good friend Mica Sadler.
We sold 59 condos in Kitchener-Waterloo last month. That's more than all of Toronto.
How's the market?
It's a really good question. The market is fairly volatile, but the market's correcting itself. It's not crashing. I've talked to some of the best agents over the last 25 years. They're all saying exactly the same thing. This is a time in which if you don't own real estate, go buy some real estate. Like, there is no question in my mind, people like us are going to buy more of it right now because in 10 years, it will rise.
Welcome to The Hard Truth, here with my good friend Mica Sadler. We are going to talk about Mica's 2-decade career in real estate, from BRRRRs before there was YouTube, to building a real estate business and investing in things that you actually like and are passionate about. So make sure to watch this full episode. We're going to dive right in. So Mica, tell us about yourself. How did you get into real estate? Where did you start? What's your story about you in real estate?
Yeah, actually I've been in real estate twice. Okay. So when I was in my early 20s, I was probably 21. I was in telecom at the time. I was recruited right out of telecom from one of the largest brokerages and brokers in town, RE/MAX Real Estate Center. I was their director of career development, so I was like signing contracts, recruiting, top agents from other brokerages to go to theirs. At that time, they were like the fastest growing RE/MAX in Canada. They had, I think, 10 offices, and I was like on their leadership staff. I had no business having that job, like none. I was in this corner office with a huge cherry wood desk. I'm 21 years old and rolling up in my, souped out Eclipse at the time, like a total kid, yeah. Right? So that was my first kick at it. I was taking my license at the time, and then 2008 came around. So, my expense cards were taken away. My expense. I had to start paying for all these golf things I was doing and lunches and things of this nature that I was using for recruiting tactics. So I left and I actually went into tech. Fast forward, at the time, I should say actually at that time I was buying rentals too, because it was really easy. Like, you could essentially 5% down as long as you had some leases. You get creative with financing. So like, I'm 21 years old making 200 grand and I'm like, oh yeah, rental. Like, it was not the same as it is today with the structure and the due diligence from financing. Fast forward to today, obviously, where it's a little bit different. Obviously, we run a team, founded the collective. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff in the middle there, but I'm sure we'll unpack some of that.
So what was your rental strategy in 2008 here in Kitchener-Waterloo, right? That's where you were buying?
Yeah.
So what was the rental strategy in 2008?
Yeah, rental strategy. Find enough money for that down payment for the first one.
Okay.
Right? It was cheap. My first house was $162,000. I turned it into essentially a student rental, right? So I had 5 bedrooms. Everyone was paying $450 or $500 a head. I had a common area. I would call it swanky, right? I had Xbox and I had, internet included. I had flat screen televisions. I was providing something that nobody else was. I also lived there, right? So renting out the rooms. It was in Kitchener. Didn't need a license to do this. My mortgage was $900. I was banking, I think I was close to almost $3,000 a month, and my mortgage, my insurance, everything was like $970 something. So I was like, oh, let's do that again. That seems like a great idea. And at the time, it was a lot easier to get financing. So I could prove that was making money and cash flowing. So I was then able to do 5% on my next one. Now, granted, now that doesn't quite work the same way because you need more down. It's a little bit different. Thinking, but I was 21 years old at the time. So yeah. That was the strategy at that time. I thought I'd get rid of them, but by the time I was 25, like, we had bought a condo. And it was cheap. It was like $97,000 for this condo. It was, now granted, it was ugly. It was beat beat up. Like I had to put in some good money into it, but I ended up moving into that, keeping that, moving on to my next one. But it was all just rolling. It was kind of like BRRRR before BRRRR was a thing.
Yeah, there was no YouTube channel.
No.
To check out.
No, not at all.
So were you a realtor at the time?
No, I was a glorified sales professional. Yeah, I didn't have a license. I was writing my license at the time, but I didn't really need it because I was doing so well recruiting top agents from other brokerages to RE/MAX Real Estate Center at the time. That by the time I was almost there, 2008 hit. And so I was like, you know what? I don't want to go down this path. I got a really good opportunity in technology and going back into telecom, which ultimately set up the next 12 years of my tech career.
So you left. Did you still have rentals when you went into the tech career?
Yeah.
So you still had some rentals, went into the tech business?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I spent. I went into BlackBerry. Actually, one of the best lessons in business that I was ever taught. I was actually interviewing, I don't know why, I always loved BMWs. So I walked into a BMW dealership and I was like, you're gonna hire me today. He's like, well, we're not hiring. And I was like, I know, but like, I'm coming from real estate, it's probably smart of you if you just hired me. And he's like, nah, like we're not hiring. So the next day I get a call, he's like, hey, my district manager's in town, I want you to meet her. And I was like, okay, cool. Go in, talk to her. She was lovely, hit it off. I'm like 22 years old, 23 years old. And she's like, oh, we're gonna give you a job. I'm like, perfect. So I get a call the next day with some details. I'm like, hey, give me a couple of days to think about it. And he's like, what do you mean? You came to us, we weren't hiring, we gave you the job. What do you mean, give me a couple of days? I'm like, I got another opportunity at this company called Research in Motion. I don't know if you've heard of it, BlackBerry at the time. And he's like, no. I thought this was going to be a very different conversation. Deal's off the table. That was a point where I learned a valuable lesson in business was don't show all your cards all the time. And so that opportunity was taken off. I did end up getting the job at BlackBerry, so it worked out in my favor. Right. But at the time, I could have shot myself in the foot. I had a bunch of rentals I had to pay for. You know, it was 2008. Real estate wasn't going well for anyone. Things weren't selling in the event that I needed to. You know, it was a lesson that worked out for me, but that was definitely a lesson in business where I was like, don't tell everybody everything all the time.
Right, I like that.
Yeah.
So left real estate, back in tech. We're gonna fast forward. You still own some rentals, maybe bought and sold over the years, kind of thing. You know, I can make some assumptions on BlackBerry why you came back, but what brought you back to real estate? What?
Yeah, so actually I left BlackBerry and I went to this startup company called Magnet Forensics, which we used to like carve and parse deleted data from cell phones and iPhones and tablets, and which then I IPO'd. So I'm glad that was a part of my story and part of my career. But the reason that I came back to just real estate in general is I've always had a passion for real estate. My great-grandfather was a realtor. My grandfather was a realtor. My aunt's a realtor. I always watched and I always saw this industry. It can, and I always looked at it as a respectable profession. Now, over the course of time, I think we got some work to do to make it that again.
Some more respectable than others.
Some more respectable than others. But I thought, how do we change that? Like, what can we do in order to bring the integrity back to this business? So, anyways, I got back into real estate in 2018. I thought, I really wanted to do this. I had some time. I had the luxury of being able to, pay for life and afford to go back into something that I just really enjoyed. And that's kind of how it all started. 2019, 2020, moved over to EXP. Obviously founded the Real Estate Collective, and here we are.
Talk to me of what is the Real Estate Collective?
The Real Estate Collective is realtors helping realtors, the simplest form. It is our organization of realtors that allow collaboration over competition. We share best practices. We run high-end events every year. We do masterminds, roundtables. It is our community that is meant to give back. Through that process, I think we're helping a lot of realtors become really good professionals in the industry, setting a standard of what ethical realtor looks like in this day and age.
A lot of my listeners, viewers, all 17 of them, would probably are familiar with masterminds and real estate education and those type of things.
Yeah.
And the costs associated with that. How much does it cost to join the collective?
Nothing.
Nothing. That's amazing.
It's my pro bono give back to the community. I mean, I think at some point in your career, you have to look at what's the greater good. Now, granted, we're part of EXP. Part of the mantra of being in this organization is giving back, and through that process I think you'll attract people that are kind and caring and want to be on that road traveled together, and through that process I think you can do some really cool things. So yeah, we don't charge anything for it.
Love it. We're going to talk development day. What's development day? We're going to do some shameless promotion.
Yeah, some plugs.
This is the first time I met Mica. I was at the previous development day that he did. Was that last year's? Just incredible value. What's development day?
Yeah, development day is our kind of our yearly giant conference. It's about 250 realtors. We bring in speakers from all over North America. We have some of the top brokers, some of the top agents, some of the top coaches, CEOs from different, and this year we have our CEO coming in from EXP. We have people who speak on AI, coaching, you name it, right? If you're an expert in this industry on a certain topic, the odds are you're probably there. We do breakout sessions, we do, fireside chats, if you will, and then of course keynotes. So it's it's huge.
Do you have to be an EXP realtor to go?
No, it's agnostic. This isn't, we kind of keep these separate, right? Yep. The Real Estate Collective is really meant to give back agnostically to community at large. We just happen to be at EXP and run it, but
So, and we'll make sure we set that link up so anyone who wants to can get access to the link.
I think that's where you say right now. It's like click below.
Yeah, click the link below. Peter, make it happen. Cool. So. I want to talk a little bit, for some of the viewers know that I recently got my real estate license. I became a realtor, and it's something that I always said I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be a realtor. And then just not because I thought a realtor meant I had to go drive people around in my car and show houses.
Yeah.
So the EXP model, the EXP business is actually what incentivized me to become a realtor. So, or get my real estate license. I think I have my license more than I'm a realtor. Tell me, what is EXP? Why should, if you're going to be a realtor, why should you join EXP? Why should you be an EXP agent?
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of noise around brokerages and cloud-based brokerages at this point. I think a lot of people have misconceptions of what EXP is and what it's not. EXP is a pyramid scheme. I find it's funny when people have these predetermined notions about what our business is or this pyramid. And if you really look at any business, it is a pyramid. You have an owner, you have VPs, you have directors, you have employees. I don't know how you don't draw that out, but that's just the fundamentals of any business. And anybody that understands good business structure and org hierarchy, that's exactly what it is, right? In our case, we are all owners. So, EXP is, we're not bricks and mortar unless you create that environment for yourself, which we've done at the Real Estate Collective. But typically what it is it's all realtors helping realtors. So it's kind of following the same suit as the collective itself, where if you were to have a sponsor or you were to bring somebody into EXP, you have a vested interest in them growing their business. And that trickles down, so I can see where people have this predetermined notion. But EXP is simply just a cloud-based brokerage that has a subset of tech tools that are all cloud-based, which is great for anybody. Like for me, it was a no-brainer coming to something that was tech forward because I came from tech. But yeah, world-class tools, a lot of AI, but the one thing about this organization and specifically EXP and the collective is your experience is going to change based on the people that bring you into it, right? Like if you're on your own in EXP, probably quite lonely. Because you don't have an office, there's no bricks and mortar, you don't have that community. But if you go into this type of environment with a collection of people like the Real Estate Collective, you're gonna have support, you're gonna be around people, you're gonna masterminds and social events and things of that nature we run every month. So for us it's a little bit different, but that's kind of...
This doesn't feel like a cloud-based program.
No, it doesn't.
No, this is very bricks and mortar. For those of you who don't know, we got a new office space in Kitchener-Waterloo. On Riverbend Drive. This is where the collective's based out of, and world-class office space. And it's been, I can tell my experience in the few months I've been here has been incredible. One of the things that we started just recently, and you mentioned, in your real estate investments or your real estate business, how are you using AI?
Yeah, a ton. It's changing drastically. It's changing daily. So, I mean, the last one that I implemented, or the most recent, I would say, is Fixer AI, because my emails, just like yours, is absolutely crazy.
I've had it for a week. It's incredible.
So we were in a training session, and I was like, hey, you should try this. And like 10 minutes later, it's like, this is amazing. So, just being able to sort through emails, what's really important, what do I need to respond to, even just that simplistic of a task for email was game changing, because I get 350 emails a day, and to sort through them, oh gosh. So that was a big one. We're huge in ChatGPT. We do a lot of chat. And really, it's only as good as the prompts that you do. But my team uses a ton. Obviously, listing descriptions. I'll give you a good example of what I use it for. I use it a lot for cooking because I love to cook. So outside of real estate, it's great for building recipes. But I used it the other day to find me a massage, which is, again, it's a time saving. Most people don't realize it can scrub for online portals. So I said, hey, I want a massage today between 2 and 4. Go find me an appointment that's available and book it online. So it gave me 2 options that had online booking between 2 and 4, and it booked it for me.
Wow.
Most people don't realize that you can do that. And that was last week, so it was great. And I got a massage in 2 hours, which that task alone would have been almost impossible, because I would have had to find the website myself, which I didn't know that massage place was even it was right beside my house.
Right.
I had no idea it was even there.
Right.
So there's that.
You gotta be careful when you prompt with the massage.
You gotta, the prompt has to be good.
Yeah, the prompt has to be good. Dangerous and hurry.
But we use voiceovers. I can't remember the name of it, but we use voiceover AI, so we can use different celebrity names to do voiceovers for different to videos. But yeah, we use a ton of it. A lot of automation. Automation's been around for a long time. So now we're taking automation and plugging it into our CRM and using AI to respond to the automation, which is really cool. For example, the automation of a lead comes in and whiteboarding how your leads are interacting with. So a lead comes in, automation takes care of it. A smart plan kicks off, but if a client was to respond to said smart plan, then how do you respond? Well, typically it's been manual, so it's either go to myself or obviously one of the agents within the team. So now AI just goes, okay, well, we understand what the response was, we'll formulate that and respond. So implementing things of that nature. Again, it's based on my tone, the team tone, or the agent's tone, right? Because we all speak differently. The way that I would respond to an email is probably different than the way that you do, which is probably good for your email, because I've seen your email.
Yeah, it's softening me up a little bit. It's softening me up.
Yeah, which is good. I think the tools are only as good as, I think there's a time and a place for AI. It's not going to replace the realtor, there's no question.
No.
I think what it'll do is it'll actually replace the mundane tasks in which a good sales professional shouldn't be doing anyways. But it's not going to build credibility, it's not going to build relationships, it's not going to, the things that sales professionals need to be really good at and that you can't teach, those continue to be there. But
my previous guest that I just had on, he was letting us know that Ryan Serhant, in his most recent book, basically said AI can replace everything except for sales. It can't sell.
Can't sell.
It can't sell. So I think that's a very good news.
Yeah.
But my guests are, my viewers are going to hear this more and more, and I say this all the time. AI won't replace humans. Humans who use AI will.
Yes.
And it's a competitive advantage, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've tried a number of different tools, and some of them are great. Smaller bots that kind of go in, and I'm not quite there as of. I don't want, like, Sentry is really cool, but I'm like, I don't need an army of things kind of going into my stuff. I think that if you can look at and identify a certain workflow within your business that needs to be optimized, AI is probably already there for it. You just need to look into it.
Yep.
Just like every year, you look into your finances, you do business planning. You should be looking at how to optimize certain workflows within your business using AI.
Love it, love it. We keep going on the AI tangent, but I think it's so relevant to business. So, how's the market?
Well, isn't that fun? What a great question. Well, I can give you this. I mean, we sold 59 condos in Kitchener-Waterloo last month. That is that's more than all of Toronto. So that's pretty huge.
So when you say the KW board sold 59 condos.
Yeah.
And what did Treb sell?
Like 17. Wild.
That is wild. Yeah. That is wild.
Now, granted, that's not a good news story. The market is fine. The market's correcting itself. It's not crashing. I mean, I've talked to some of the best agents over the last 25 years, and they're friends of mine, and they're all saying exactly the same thing. What the anomaly was 3 years ago. It's not now. We are at where we should have been. I mean, we jumped up 30, 40, 50 points over the course of 18 to 24 months. That is not sustainable. That was the anomaly, right? So where we are today, you won't see these hockey stick figures, which no investor really wants. Is there still opportunity in the market? Absolutely. Buy a friggin' condo now. Like, condos are at an all-time low. Cost per square foot, drop through the floor. No pun intended, right? Like, so there are opportunities in the market still. It's a matter of, what is good for your portfolio? What do you want to hold on to? What are you passionate about? Typically, I don't invest in much that isn't of a passion of mine, right? It's hard to get passionate about condos, but for us, we like to develop condos too, which is a really difficult thing to invest in now. Still, I have a GP and an LP on a great condo development here in town called 20Q. I think that has legs to get off the ground for sure, but it's tough. It's tough bringing, it's tough bringing investors back into a market that has been so volatile in the last 18 months for good reason.
Yeah.
Right? How do you ask somebody to invest into your GP or LP knowing that there's a potential that's not going to fly or it's not going to be built? I've
been in the investment world. Financial advisor pre-2018, but the real estate investment world pretty aggressively since 2018, so 8 years now. Yeah. And the last 18 months has been the first time that being in cash, it wasn't a bad thing.
For sure.
I don't love that. I think you should not be in cash. But like if somebody said, like, I'm just in cash right now, there wasn't the argument, well, inflation is going like this, you got to keep up with it. Like, being in cash wasn't a terrible move. So I don't blame people for being cautious and careful about as they go into investments and making sure that it's going to get off the ground and things are going to happen. So.
Well, there's another side of that too. I was talking to a couple of, obviously we do quarterly, just kind of quarterly updates with regards to what's going on with our development. But one person said to me, he's like, well, you've had the cash now, let's call it 100 grand for what, 2.5 years. It's in trust, which is great. It's not going anywhere, hasn't made any money, but hasn't lost any money. So there's always a silver lining somewhere where you could have put it into something and it could be gone. Granted, we haven't created a great deal of income off of it. There's not a ton of interest, but there's a couple of different things at play here too. Cost associated to build is down. Resource is down. Steel's down. Like, a lot of these things that were inflated through COVID, because or post COVID, like, we essentially would have paid 30 to 35% more to build this thing. right? It's taken longer, but costs have come down. So it's, you know.
If you're talking to somebody looking to invest right now, you know, what should they look at doing?
That's a really good, I mean, it's a really good question. The market is fairly volatile, but if you're, so there's two, I'm going to answer this two ways. First-time home buyers, I would say, or people that are not, haven't entered into the market now, you always look for dips in market over the course of time exactly like this. This is a time in which if you don't own real estate, go buy some real estate.
100%.
Like, there is no question in my mind, people like us are going to buy more of it right now because in 10 years, it will rise.
Good buy opportunities don't feel good.
No.
It doesn't feel like, oh, this is the greatest thing in the world. Like, good buy opportunity isn't this, like, you need to go a little bit against the grain.
For sure.
And against the headlines. And like, this is the one of the best buy opportunities we've seen in a long time.
Very, very long time.
Yeah.
So that's number one. No, number two is as a, let's say a retail investor, right, or an accredited investor, I would look for opportunities that have a 4 to 5 to 6 year kind of growth rate to them. I wouldn't be looking at, hey, how can I make money over the next 12 to 24 months? I think we're still going to see some volatility in the market for the next year to year and a half. You know, not even getting into interest rates and everything else. I think that if you looked at longer term plays, things that maybe, you know, shoveling ground ready in 2 years, stuff that is, you know, it's healthy, but it's not astronomical. Like if somebody's saying we're gonna have 18 to 20% returns, and it's not. I'd be cautious of it. I'd be looking for things that you're probably gonna break ground in the next 24 months. That's gonna take a 5-year period. I'd probably be looking at things of that nature. The condo side of it, I'd probably still stay away from a little bit. Some of the, if you could get a good deal on a condo that's already built, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I think there's going to be some rise there. But that's a 5-year hold. Like you're going to have to hold those for a bit. Another opportunity, which I think you'll like on this, is cottages. Cottages have taken a massive hit. I like cottages personally because A, you can use them. Mm-hmm. You can rent them. Like, there's a lot of versatility to them. They're a little bit more expensive to get into, but you know, for the most part, I've seen a massive dip in those over the last 2 years. And you know, I sold mine at the peak, and I'm like, for me, I'm definitely going to get another one. So I'm looking and monitoring those pricing, that pricing strategy. I love to buy condos or cottages too in the winter. Like right between now and February, you can get a really good deal on cottages. So that would be.
I want to highlight a couple things that you said there. The one thing is, so talking about the cottage market, I'll start with that, is we lost our HELOC buyers when the rates went up. Mm-hmm. So that was the big thing. You know, I live in the city, I can get a HELOC at X%, buy a cottage, even though I rent it out 10, 12 weeks when I'm not using it, basically pays for the mortgage and the HELOC loan. Yeah. So we lost our HELOC buyers because it was expensive to borrow from their house. So those are kind of coming back. The other thing you said, which I think is super important, so many investors right now think that a shorter term is less risky. Mm-hmm. I got some of you like, I want to do a 6-month, 1-year deal. Mm-hmm. Well, that's where most of the volatility is.
100%.
If you're looking at a 5-year deal with the longer trajectory, there's less volatility.
Yeah.
So the number one feedback that I get on the 5 years is, well, that's another U.S. election cycle. That's another Canadian election cycle. So maybe talk to us a little bit about how these external factors impact your investment philosophy.
Those will always be factors. If we're looking for variables such as politics, tariffs, if you listen to the noise, the volatility is constantly spiking. Right? One thing that I think for my portfolio anyways, I've taken things that I'm passionate about, things that I like to talk about, and things that I can use. So my portfolio is probably not all that sexy, but it's fun. I like it, and I believe in those products. So I'm a huge investor in Tesla, for example. I own a Tesla. I like Elon. Maybe not there's people that don't and people that do. But I like what he's doing for humanity. I think he's pushing the envelope that we haven't seen in a long, long time. So I can get behind that.
Might be an alien. We'll see.
Yeah. Wow, he's just trying to get home.
Yeah, he's just trying to get home.
We're just trying to get home. So but my portfolio looks like that. So for me, and I don't listen to the noise, and I don't day trade it. So I'm here for the long haul, and I don't really care. So for me, I'm not trying to pull in and take out and just do all this crazy stuff. What I'm trying to do is have a sustainable portfolio over the course of the next 20 years. I don't need it right now. I'll take care of it later. And I think that's where you and I have a great deal of work to do together to ensure that when that time comes, I'm also in a position that I can use it for different, in different ways. Right, which is you and I still need to talk about. So there's lots of little things. I mean, again, strategy-wise, look at longer term. I'm not the guy to kind of educate you in the shorter-term strategy, anyways.
Yeah.
It's not really my portfolio.
Love it. We're getting close on time here, and I forgot to prep you again. Peter's got to remind me to prep people on this. We like to ask. It's called the hard truth.
Yeah.
So, what is for a newbie investor? What is the hard truth? For a seasoned investor, what is the hard truth?
Yeah, for the newbie, the hard truth is you're going to falter. You're not always going to make money. You're going to learn some hard lessons. You're going to meet some people that aren't truthful and faithful to your portfolio. And be careful and be cautious. For the savvy investor or the long-term investor, the hard truth is you probably already lost some money, right? Don't worry about the short wins. Like, look at the long-term play. I think a lot of savvy investors, especially in the last 5 years, they got really excited because they made a lot of money really quickly, and they forgot what got them there. And that was making really good decisions over the course of time. And I don't know, I always look at, like, my first book that I ever read on this stuff was Power 7, and I actually, when I was a kid, I actually wrote how to become a millionaire in a paper route, and it was all based on the Power 7, and that was like the first speech I ever gave when I was like 11 years old. But those are the very basic concepts of, like, every 7 years you should be doubling it. So, like, what if you take that basic philosophy, why are you trying to rush that? It's the course of time is what's helping your investment. So that's what I would say to savvy investors that maybe forgot that.
I love that, and I think we've seen that so much in the last couple of years, where people were just making investments to make money. And you and I have talked outside of this about you invest in things you're passionate about, that you like, that you enjoy. When you do that, when there's the volatility, you don't care. It wasn't just about making money. You like this. You believe in this.
Yeah.
You believe in the stock. You believe in the property location. You believe in the market. So if there's noise, it's okay. If I sell today, I'm down. But I'm not going to sell today. I like this. I believe in this. And I think that's such a fundamental thing that people have gotten away from. Yeah. I know I was guilty of it for years in my portfolio. If I could make money on a deal, I did it.
Right.
But now it's like, well, no, it's not just what's my time versus profit. Yeah. Because just making money isn't enough. If I have to put in that much time, it's not worth it.
Well, I also look at it like this: like, if you're going to do the due diligence to do and run your numbers, or would you rather run your numbers and look at a spreadsheet of something you like or something you don't understand? So a lot of people got caught up in this in crypto. It's like, I want to get in crypto because I can see that there's a ton of money in it. I'm like, okay, explain blockchain to me. I don't know what that is. You probably shouldn't be investing in it. It was pretty simple.
Pretty straightforward.
So, anyway, that's
cool.
my 2 cents there.
Great value. Love the different stuff that we talked about. Yeah. Make sure I'll link Mica's info in here. He's got some great listings right now. Make sure you check out his website. And thanks again. Absolute pleasure.
My pleasure. Absolutely.
We'll definitely be having you on again.
Yeah. Cheers, Ben.
Yeah,